Yo, YouTube, Mr. T here. Today, we're going to do something very interesting. We're gonna talk politics. And not just politics, we're gonna talk Belgian politics and something I saw on TikTok. So I was scrolling TikTok yesterday evening, that's why I will not be making the part 2 of the ELD sentences. That will be for next time. No, I will be doing. I will just show you the video, right? These three videos, and I saved them for you guys, were on my For You page.
Veel mensen vroegen mij om eens te tonen hoe dat mijn dag eruit ziet. Dus bij deze neem ik jullie mee in mijn afgelopen weekend. Red Fox Jongerenbeweging van de PvdA die organiseren dit weekend de Boost Days. Dat is een plek om rustig te studeren, waar je ook beide kunt krijgen. En dus voilà, ik ga eens gaan helpen kijken wat ik nog weet van natuurwetenschappen. En we hebben chance vandaag dat een bordje zegt dat de bus komt. En de bus komt ook. Voilà, aangekomen bij Geneeskunde voor het Volk. De dokterspraktijk waar we gratis geneeskunde geven. En vandaag dus ook studiehulp. Dag Amina. De Boost Days, wat kom je doen?
We organiseren hier een studieplaats en ook bijlessen voor jongeren die aan het studeren zijn voor hun examens.
Guy, he's called Jos de Haas, and he's part of the extreme left or Communist Party of Belgium. And he is known for having a very hard stance against our Minister of Mobility. And he is like popular with the youth. The youth doesn't know that he's from PvdA, but he's popular with the youth because he says a lot about the LAN, our bus company, our national bus company, and why it's not working, I guess. And here's another video. So this is our Minister of Mobility, and she says that he needs to stop saying that our bus companies are, ruined because our government is pulling back money from this company to invest in other shits.
Je moet je aan de feiten houden, meneer Daals. Je mag nooit liegen. Mama en papa zullen ongetwijfeld hebben geleerd, je mag niet liegen.
Als we de besparingen van de afgelopen legislatuur onder Lydia Peters samentellen, komen we uit op ongeveer 250.
And here he basically says, that's all not true what you're saying. Here are some facts, which are true, by the way. And this. I don't know what it is, but I got it on my For You page. And it's some kind of get-together of I don't know. I really don't know, but this is like a TikTok a TikTok account for communism, I guess. And these three videos really wanted me to make this. And it's a controversial opinion. I find the left part of politics, how do you say this? Too gay? I think people listen. I think that left-wing parties in general, socialist parties, social democratic parties, and communist parties are not socialists or communists anymore. I personally am a left-wing, but I have my own kind of idea. Because my idea of what it is to have a government for, by, and from the people does not align with the communist parties of today. These parties focus too much on the equality part of communism, so to speak, because that's actually not a thing that really that is interpreted by society different than what it was meant to be, because equality is taken by society and implemented as is everybody should be equal, which should be, but focusing on minorities or people who think differently than the mainstream, only focusing on them is creating equality. And I feel like left parties today are doing this more than any other party in the system. And that's a big no go for me. And that's personally, and I got asked this a lot in class, why would you vote for Trump, but also be a leftist? Because Trump doesn't have this focus. It's gone, while Kamala only focused on Afro Americans or people of the LGBTQAI plus community. And I notice this sounds contradictory, but believe me when I say that I have respect for these people, and these people can and need to be here because they give another perspective, and that's good. But a political party isn't there to give comfort to these people. That's not where political parties are for. Political parties are to steer a country in the correct way in form of ideology and economy. What I'm saying is that I think parties shouldn't be gay fests, basically. I will never vote socialists in Belgium, communists maybe, but socialists never, because they're just one big gay party, basically. Like, one third of their agenda is basically saying if you're gay, then that's okay, and that is okay, but that doesn't need to be mentioned as much as they do. It just doesn't. And I don't see why. Because these people want to be treated equally. Then why do they need to get so much attention? Why is wokeism such a big thing? I don't get it. And why I also wouldn't vote for left-wing parties. And you need to know, in Belgium there are two left-wing parties. You have Vooruit, which is our socialist party, and PvdA. It's Partij van de Arbeider, and this is our communist party. Why I wouldn't vote for them is either one, because they're gay. They're they're only focusing on people who are different than me, and so I can't relate, and I find it very hard to accept. And they don't have a leadership. They're not parties. They're a group together of people who think differently of each other. The leader of our Socialist Party, let's look him up. This guy, he is the leader of our Socialist Party. First of all, look at how he looks. Look at him. Would you even vote for this? He lacks charisma, basically, to start. And secondly, he does not do anything else. They get into controversies. He was drunk once and he said a lot of racial slurs. And what did his party do? Give him a second chance. No. If the leader of a party does something that is unacceptable, get him out. Simple. That's not hard. Get him out. Demote him. Give him another job within your party. But don't cling on these figures. That's not a good example. And secondly, he is not a leader because he can't react to anything. He can't say anything. I vividly remember once saw it on TikTok once again, a conference of all parties of Belgium together. And he said with full confidence, name me one country today or in history that benefited from an extreme right or fascist regime. And then the leader of our extreme right party, Vlaams Belang, who's called Tom van Grieken, he said he started Italy, Estland, Finland, France, Turkey, and he just stood there like a clown. Say something, dude, because he was wrong. Tom van Grieken was wrong. Benefiting and having people say they benefit is a different thing. There is a thing called propaganda which extreme right parties and governments use all the time. And it is a form of manipulation, making your people believe that they are benefiting from your regime while they aren't. That's the reason why North Koreans on TV in North Korea say that they're happy. because they really think they're happy, but they're not. Of course they aren't. They're persuaded in saying these things. Italy wasn't a better nation under fascism. It wasn't a better nation pre-fascism, but it wasn't a good nation under fascism either. Estland wasn't a great nation under fascism. Better, when Estland became fascist, the Soviets invaded and their life became worse. Because they said they were fascists, France never was fascist to begin with. Like, bro, react instead of standing there at your stable like this. If you do that, you're not a politician. You're a clown. Belgian politicians are clowns. Simple. And that's just big time bullshit. And that's the problem with left wings and Belgium in general. Politics aren't about economy anymore. They aren't about policy anymore. They are about who will vote for me when I say a certain thing a bit different than my political enemy. And what the left is trying to do is get all the minorities on board. You know how hard that is? To be able to have every minority agree with you? But because, yes, if every minority agrees with you, you will have probably more than enough votes to rule. That's true. But not every minority is going to agree with what you say. That's the thing about having an opinion. Not everybody agrees. But why are you then trying to appeal to all these people? And my last point, which I wanted to talk about in this video, is bro, why is being gay or being different, a thing in politics? It really shouldn't be. Because honestly, and don't take this wrong, it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter if you're gay or not. It doesn't. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It really doesn't. You need to vote based on what you think that this party is saying is good or not. Not based on if this party says, if you're female, vote for me. If you're a Muslim, vote for me. No. Being gay or believing in shit is not a reason to vote. It isn't. It really isn't. I'm sorry, but it just isn't. Like, bro, come on. Get your shit together, bro. And I find this an absolute disaster. Because I consider myself a leftist, but the left wing ideology I believe in just doesn't exist apparently. And that's sad actually. Because these things, these ideas, if you go and search them up and like really deepen yourself into this, they're great. They're good ideas. They have good economic policies and they have good social policies and good um, policies in contrast to other nations. But now, the left, how it is now, it's basically wokeism. And that really declares my title. Communism isn't gayism. And it should never have become gayism. I don't get why this is so important. I really don't. And I think personal stuff should remain out of politics. If you vote, you shouldn't vote for you, and you shouldn't vote for who you are. You should vote for what you think is best for your nation. You know what is best for my nation right now? That this guy and his leadership and the leadership of PvdA are thrown out and replaced by real communists and real socialists. Because this isn't going to work, and it will never. Wokeism, yes, it will fail. Because the more you're gonna focus on these things, the more you're gonna pull away people who aren't these things, because that's what you're doing. You're basically saying, vote for me because you're this. But everyone else who isn't that is going to think that you neglect them. Hence why I think this party will neglect me. They say, well, if you're gay, vote for us. If you're black, vote for us. What about hetero white males? They do not matter for you? Why do you expect them to vote then? That's the thing. That's the thing I'm worried about. And that's why you saw such a big outcome for Donald Trump in America in November. Because he simply did not say anything about I particularly support this group, or I particularly say this group needs more or less rights. He didn't. He didn't. And he didn't focus. His agenda isn't focused on this. He might have said a thing or two, but it isn't focused. The core of his agenda isn't focused on this. And that's what's pulling so many people to him. Because everybody who does not belong to the minorities left-wing parties want to attract is going away. Simple as that. And that's why we need to reinvent left-wing parties. We need to go back to how they were in the beginning. Simple. Yeah, guys, I just saw it on TikTok and I was thinking about it and I needed to make a video. Needed to let you guys know what I think about this. And this is not the only thing about Belgium or the world in general I disagree with. And that's why I was thinking, and if anyone watches this, let me know if you think this is a great idea. But that's why I was thinking to write a book and make videos about how I see the world as the best version of the world. Um, so I'm gonna write this book. But if you want videos about this to explain this, be sure to let me know, and I will. And maybe I will even make videos before the book is off from each chapter, because I plan it to make it a long book and tackle everything, like starting with things like how your day should be, to how education should be going, to how the government should work. And I hope you guys are excited for this. So next week we will have my ELD part 2. If you remember from previous week, we talked about this with Suhal Demir and her reforms in Belgian education, the new thing for when you believe or when you do not believe to still sit together. We're gonna talk about this, and then I hope you guys will enjoy that. And that's all I have to say for you today. So I would like to say, Mr. G out.